What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and today we are going to be having the uncomfortable conversation about Lamar Jackson's game on Thursday. A very poor one from a player that does not have too many poor games. So if you guys are looking forward to the breakdown as much as it's going to be painful, I'm not looking forward to it. You're not looking forward to it. Let's go through it together. And while we're talking about going through it together, let's also remember that Underdog just dropped prediction market spreads, totals, and team outcomes. And the best part, you can combine them with player picks for bigger multipliers. Sign up today with code ROAD. Make a $5 fantasy entry, and you will get $100 in fantasy bonus entries. Prediction markets are now live in 25 states, including Texas, California, and Florida, and Underdog is available in over 40 states with player picks and draft games. Prediction markets, player picks, all on Underdog. Let's jump into it. And I actually want to start, as odd as it may seem, with some of the positives, because there were definitely some positives to take away from this game. Not many, but a few. I also want to make this clear because I don't want to open up my comment section to people making it sound like I'm making excuses for Lamar when I get talking about the O-line. We're going to talk about them later. I think that the problem in this game was the offense took turns in terms of who wants to screw up. It'd be a drop. It would be a bad protection. It would be Lamar just straight up missing receivers. But make no mistake about it, Lamar Jackson, very poor game here, and we're going to break it all down. But I want to start here with how much more comfortable he looked with his legs. So you're going to see here, this is a third down. He's going to ID zone right off of this. And it's going to be a little bit of a zone match. So you know it's zone because as we get the breaking route here, we got those zone defenders in here. Someone's going to go into the flat here to cover Derrick Henry. Lamar sees that, and he takes off. And we haven't seen this lately. Very decisive. That was on the first touchdown drive. You're going to see it again. So I thought it was a bit more of a positive to see him using his legs and looking a little bit more comfortable. Now, to be clear, doesn't look like pre-injury Lamar Jackson. Doesn't have the same explosiveness, but looked better than last week going into a 10-day bye that we're getting back into practice tomorrow. I think it's a positive sign. So, we'll take a little bit of positivity here. A couple throws that I thought Lamar, made look pretty good. And, it was crazy how many plays got left on the field when you talk about Lamar's stats. The fumble down on the goal line, and then this shot here to Devontae Walker. So Devontae is going to be aligned here in the slot. He's going to end up going on a seam route here, and that's Geno Stone back there, our old friend. And so what we're going to focus on is Geno Stone selling that inside route. You're going to get Devontae Walker selling that inside inside seam, getting Geno Stone to open his hips, and then watch how he bends back. So he's going to open right here, work that inside, see Geno open with his hips facing inwards, and then right there, Devontae Walker just with one of those explosive steps that he has in his arsenal. And what happens here is his route is so clean that it causes Geno Stone to stumble, and he stumbles right into the path Walker was taking. Because if you look at Lamar releases the ball right there. So right as Geno Stone is starting to fall, ball goes out. And you can see right there, at this moment, Devontae Walker puts his hands down, and it's that little disruption. And right there, he starts to track the ball. He gets turned around. He gets mixed up because of the collision. I wouldn't say collision. He just kind of ran into him. But right there, you run a route that's so clean that you make the DB fall over, and you can't, that was a good ball from Lamar. It looks overthrown, but that's because Devontae Walker gets tripped up, turns around, and loses his track. If he's running, Lamar threw that so that Devontae could just run into it. So it's just, again, it's an optics thing, right? How different do you feel if Lamar makes that throw? Lamar, completes the Isaiah Likely one. We're talking about two major throws going for 100 total passing yards and 2 touchdowns instead of, no touchdown and only 44 passing yards because technically Likely still caught his. Definitely some nice throws here, but then we get into the misses, and poof, boy, these are just misses. It was bad. So Zay Flowers over here. This is on third down too. 3rd and 10, backed up on your goal line after 2 unsuccessful runs. Zay's just going to run an out route right here up to the 10-yard line. He's going to work the inside shoulder of the corner and then swim his way outside. He creates about 5 yards of separation on this route right there. Right there, clean as the ball comes. Look at, there's 5 yards of separation. Ball just too high. Zay can't bring that in. Can't miss this throw. And if you look, because I know, again, we're going to talk about the pass protection with some honesty, but right here, that looks pretty clean. As that break's coming, ball comes out. you can't miss that throw. You just can't. Again, you're punting out of your end zone, or you got a first down on third down. It's just these plays can't happen. Keep rolling here. You're going to see a levels concept. We just talked about a missed opportunity there with good separation. You're going to get Geno Stone again against Mark Andrews one-on-one, and they're going to run a little bit of a levels concept. You're going to get an in-breaking route from Zay and Man. You're going to get an out-breaking route from Mark Andrews. Geno Stone's going to fall again. And watch how open Mark is. Again, 5 yards of separation on this throw off play action. Right there, Geno Stone falls. There's that separation. The ball's got to be thrown outside of the numbers because of the play action, causes a little bit of a delay to get the ball out. But this ball should be caught just outside of the 40. He throws that in stride. He's not scoring off this because the safety's back there, but look at all that open field. You're looking at probably 15, almost 20 yards of yak. Maybe not 20. I mean, it depends on how hard he has to cut that cut up field. But again, just bad misses. Isaiah Likely here. You're going to get a little bit of pressure off the right side off of a stunt. We'll talk about the right side missing stunts because there are plenty of them in this game. Crossing route from Isaiah Likely. Lamar just gets disrupted by the pressure that ends up in his face right there as the linebacker comes in. But that ball's overthrown by an absurd amount. It's not even close. And then you get Keaton Mitchell just here on a swing pass. This one, not a big deal, but just shows how off Lamar is. We can't even hit a swing pass here. So there's 5 plays right there where we just can't. We're just missing basic throws that he makes on a game-to-game, drive-to-drive basis. So that's 5 incompletions, many of which could have been pretty big gains, in first downs. So tough one. And then this one I think is just bad diagnosis pre-snap. So we're going to see the Bengals doing the cover 0 look. We got the one-on-one, typical cover 0. What I don't like here is this is just going to be an in-breaking route where we're going to run about a 10-yard, 10-yard post. We're sagged off here. So as we're going to eat up that cushion, he's playing the sticks. All these DBs are, because they're going to try and get the pressure home. So they're going to play the sticks on third down here, and he's just going to sit on it. And as that route gets broken, he just steps up. And the issue is, watch Mark Andrews on this play. Well, watch Zay first. So I don't like how he just waited right there. You see 20 just breaks on that. Lamar, I think, purposely throws this high because, the pressure's coming. He knows the DB just sat on it. My fundamental issue is, look at Mark. Mark wide open, just out here. I don't know if he was supposed to do this. I don't know if this is an improvise. But again, Lamar usually sees this kind of stuff. They have plays like this all the time. And he's wide open. And again, we're taking... this guy's going to make the tackle. He's going to turn away, obviously. But we're looking at first down on 3rd and 10 instead of another incompletion. Again, bad diagnosis pre-snap. We know because of what Tyler Linderbaum's going to step that they have a line slide to the right. So we're going to go one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. That means we have 2 offensive linemen for 3 Bengals. Rasheen Ali's going out in a route. They're showing a 6-man rush, and we know we have a 5-man protection. That means there's going to be a guy running free. Even if guys bail out, it doesn't matter because we got to show our protection to the pressure. So right here, we match up. Ronnie's going to take the inside man. This is very basic cover 0 pass protection. So right here, Ronnie's going to take the inside man like he's supposed to. That means he's got to throw the 6th guy hot. Lamar is reading to his left right now, and Zay Flowers is running a spot route right to this mark. That DB is going to follow Rasheen Ali. This number 90 defensive lineman is not making that play on that ball. This has to be thrown with anticipation against the blitz into the vacated area because you have your pressure is vacating the area. You've got that DB covering the running back, and there's Zay right there, pops in. Maybe it's an incompletion, but here's the point about this play. This was 3rd and 10. They're just about in field goal range, maybe kind of on the verge of it. They're at the 40, right? It's 35, 40. So they're in field goal range. Can't take a sack here. No matter what, you can't take a sack. You have to throw, if you think there's a chance of an interception, throw a low ball, give Zay a chance at it, but get the ball out. You cannot take a sack here. Instead, sack. And the hesitation, you knew that guy was coming free based on your if you have a right side slide, you know that if they bring these 3, that's going to be your unbalance. So you know your free rusher's coming from the left side based on what your pre-snap protection is. This is stuff that Lamar made mistakes on in 2021 against the Dolphins, and then he went on for 3 years and solved it over and over and over again. Anytime a team tried this, and the Bengals try this every game, he would solve it. And it's just frustrating to see it happen because it's not who he is as a player. He's solved these issues. Now, this is the fumble right before halftime. This one, again, frustrating because Lamar said when he was asked about the question, he said, I wanted to make sure there wasn't a cover two. He said a Tampa Mike. And what he means by that is if they're running cover two, so standard cover two, you're going to have 1, 2, and then you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all across. So the vacated zone where you're throwing is middle of the field or to the sidelines, over top of the corners, but outside of the safety's reach. So kind of like this area, that area, and that area. Those are your cover two beaters, or obviously underneath. What happens is, though, the Bengals are going to drop. That ain't cover two, my friends. This is cover 6. And we know this because we have one DB with half the field. We know it's not cover 2 because we have this guy dropping back deep. We know it's not cover 3 because he'd be moving half field. Instead, we have quarter, half. That's cover 6. This guy's your cloud defender on the half side, so I'm very confident it's cover 6. Zay Flowers is over here right now where you see that yellow tapping. Watch his in-breaking route. Right here, and before you think, well, maybe he's being pressured, clean pocket. Very clean pocket. This is with 38 seconds left in the first half. If they get a field goal here, you're looking at a completely different game. It would have been 10-9 Ravens instead of 12-7. Zay Flowers opens into an ocean of open zone coverage. And again, Lamar he thought he was worried. Like, I have no doubt because a Tampa 2 linebacker, if this was cover 2 deep, a Tampa 2 linebacker will run that seam. And that's exactly where Zay would be going. But there's your 2 linebackers. They are not running the Tampa 2 seam. Zay's running into open space, completely open space. Right there, look at. Oh my God, that's painful. Instead, Lamar cocks the throw. Tried to bring it back to him, and he threw it into the ground for a fumble. So, again, it's just, I have Lamar's explanation made sense. Like, what he said he was looking for makes complete sense because of where that read was, where Zay was going, and where I would expect a Tampa 2 linebacker running the seam to be. Problem is, they weren't there. Lamar just doesn't read the play. And again, Lamar has been so good at IDing coverages and throwing guys open. It's like this is what he's become so elite at. So to see it, regression's like is a trend. To see it not happen is just very frustrating. So that's kind of the breakdown on that one. Tough one here. And then I see him kind of, and it's double coverage in one way because there's two receivers and three DBs, almost an interception. So Lamar's just off. But then you get into some of these plays. I'm going to skip this side, actually, because I forget what I was trying to show with this angle. It's the same play. What I want to talk about is the right side of this offensive line missing stunts, because it is quite honestly absurd how many times. So Daniel Falele, again, talking about how everybody takes a turn missing. Falele doesn't see that inside crash. He's going to crash in on Falele's inside shoulder. BJ Hill's going to loop. And this is so problematic because if the guard doesn't see it, the tackle has to ride him. He can't pass off because he'd just be passing him off into the quarterback. So he has to follow it. Hill's going to work around the corner here because, again, another example of how he works the pocket really well. Zay's got to make that catch. I mean, good play by the DB, but Zay could have made that catch as well. So again, everybody taking turns messing up. This one frustrating too because it's the same thing. It's just Roger Rosengarten's going to miss it. I saw a lot of people blaming Falele on this one. This play is 100% on Rosengarten. Joseph Osai works inside, so they have 2 edge players. One as a 4-tech, and one as an outside stand-up. And he's just going to attack the inside hand of Rosengarten, who does not see it. 99 is going to work inside. And that's how Osai gets into Lamar for the fumble right here. See him work that. Falele sees it. He picks up the, again, on third down, that one. So the right side of this offensive line really struggling. Can't figure out the stunt game. This has happened, again, multiple times in the last, I would say all year. I wouldn't even say the last few weeks. Another one here. We're going to see a sprint out. Burn these from the playbook. I never want to see a sprint out again. We're going to see one. You're going to get a DB blitzing late. 35 is going to step up. And this is just Falele struggling to process post-snap. He's focused on here. There's nobody in front of him. Scan outside, please. Get ball thrown away. The right side of the line is really bad. And then, so like this play, though, this is the other interception. Again, all these turnovers just kind of come on a comedy of errors. What the Ravens were trying to do here against the cover zero look is they said, basically, okay, you guys are going to dot the line here. We're going to line up and we're going to use 7 to protect. So they're going to motion likely across and slide their line. And it's kind of that slide protection where you ask the running back to block the backside, but they're going to get the tight end and the running back to block the backside. So they're going to use a 7-man protection. So likely's got to come across and take on a base DN. Tough assignment, especially given where this is starting. So I would have liked to have seen Lamar kind of sway to his left a little bit. 9 tips that ball, goes right into 44's hands. This would have been a really hard throw to make, but there was space behind him. And again, it's one of those plays where I don't know if it's necessarily a touchdown, but you're looking at potentially going from an interception off a tip pass to a potential touchdown because Mark was in behind. Lamar was trying to throw a touch pass there. So just one of those things, one of those swings, right? So overall, it was a comedy of errors, but Lamar Jackson in this game, just very, very poor play. Some of the worst I've seen against the Blitz since 2021, quite frankly. He hasn't struggled like that in a long time. Teams have tried to do it to him, and he's eaten it up. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against the Blitz, but they really didn't have answers for it, and he made a lot of mistakes that he just doesn't make anymore, so it's frustrating. And then, obviously, some of the accuracy throws that we've seen are just routine throws that he makes every week, drive to drive, play to play. So overall, bad game. Pass protection's still a mess, but Lamar really got to step up and have a better game, quite frankly. So looking forward to seeing it. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, hopefully it was thorough enough to show some of the issues on the offense. Hit that like button for me. Hit subscribe if you're new here. And thank you to our friends at Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video.